Do not let divorce and the stigmas that go along with it define who you are for the rest of your life. There are so many stereotypes associated with divorce. You're the divorced dad or the divorced mom. You're the divorced co-parent. You're in a new relationship, but you're the person who was divorced. Heaven forbid you're the person who's been divorced multiple times. There are so many stereotypes, not just in the mind of future partners or other people you're in connection with, but in your own mind. How do you see yourself as an ex-husband to your ex-wife? How do you see yourself as a parent to your children through the lens of divorce, as a co-parent to your children? In this video, I'm going to explain the 5 steps you have to take to recognize and release the stereotypes that are shaping and affecting all of your relationships, not just future romantic relationships, but your relationship with your children, your relationship with your ex, your relationship with friends and family. And then I am going to introduce you guys to a workshop idea that I'm putting together, and I want your feedback because I am working with another divorce coach, this woman Trish up in Canada. She's incredible. And we're talking about putting together a workshop to try out some of these ideas and do some of this work directly with you guys. And I would love to hear from you in the comments if that's something you'd be into. All right, here are the 5 things you need to do to stop letting stereotypes and divorce run your life. The first is to bring your awareness to what those stereotypes are. Now, I don't care how your ex sees you. I want to know how you see you. How do you see yourself? When you think of ex-husband, what do you see in your mind's eye? When you think of weekend dad, or single parent, or co-parent, you to close your eyes and actually look into your brain. What is the mental image that you have associated with all of those roles that you're now in? So what does it mean to be a part-time parent or to not have equal custody of your children? I want you to look not only what does that person look like, what does an ex-husband look like, but also what feelings come up for you when you look at that mental image, and what are the thoughts? What does your brain tell you about that person? That's the awareness. Those are the stereotypes that live in your own brain. The second step is to find out the origins of those stereotypes. This one's a little bit of a process, but here's the thing. Those stereotypes, those images that exist in your brain, they're not you. They are not accurate representations of reality. They are based on a lifetime of learning, of emotional experiences, of books you've read, of stories you've seen, of movies you've seen, of what your parents' relationships were like, what your grandparents were like, what happened to your best friend or your brother. Those images have been shaped, what it means to be a single dad, what it means to be a dating ex-husband, what it means to have a relationship with your in-laws after you divorced their daughter. All of these things are shaped by your entire lifetime of experiences, but also other people's experiences that you have observed, internalized, and have shaped your beliefs off of. So the third step is to get in touch with yourself. Who are you? What are your 5 to 7 core values about who you are? Things that you're proud of, things that you aspire to, morals that you hold yourself to. What are the core values that define not only who you are, but who you want to be? What kind of person are you? Do you have integrity? Do you trust yourself? Are you reliable? Are you loving? Are you affectionate? Are you compassionate? Are you strong? Are you protective? And it doesn't just have to be personality traits. Your core values can also be things that you believe in. Maybe one of your core values is that family is the most important thing. What kind of person do you want to be? Who are you? What is true for you? This can take some digging, especially if you haven't thought about this too much. So I want you to sit down, get a pen and paper, and brainstorm this. Who am I? What do I believe in? What is true for me? What am I passionate about? What is the most important thing in the world to me and why? Just start writing it all down and then spend a little time. Can you distill that into 5 to 7 things that define you, that define who you are or who you want to be? When you have those core values and you have this awareness of that mental image of what a divorced dad is, of what a divorced boyfriend is, of a divorced guy dating, right? You've got your mental image and then you have your core values. I want you to go through life for a week or 2 and start to notice if there's any disconnect between that mental image, the stereotype you've learned, and what's actually true for you. Do the 2 clash? Do they not match up? That's going to show you where the origins of those images came from, because like I said, they're not yours. You learn them from your parents, you learn them from friends, from family, from school, from movies. So I want you to start to notice, where is the disconnect between who I am, those 5 to 7 core values, and this mental image I have? and start to question, where did I learn that? Why do I think that that's what a weekend dad is like? Where did I get that idea? Where did that come from? Is it mine, or is it something I've picked up along the way? Because once you become aware of all the aspects of that mental image that aren't actually yours, you become free to start to change that mental image. This is where your power comes in. You get to remake that mental map of what it means to be a divorced dad, a weekend dad, a man who's dating after divorce. You get to redefine who those people are and make a new mental image with new words associated, new thoughts associated, new emotions associated, based on those 5 to 7 core values that you identified in yourself. What does it mean to you to be a divorced dad? What do you want it to mean? What do you want that to look like? If you can go and erase this image, because it's not yours anyway, you've just picked it up over a lifetime, let's make it yours. Let's define it based on what you want it to look like. How can you bring those core values into defining the way that you show up as the ex-son-in-law, as the co-parent, as the single father at a parent-teacher conference? Get intentional about every relationship you have and every role that you are in your life, and start living those roles instead of living them by the stereotypes, instead of judging yourself or feeling judged by others based on what you think people are thinking about the single dad at the parent-teacher conference. I want you to live single dad at a parent-teacher conference out of your core values. How does he show up? What does that look like? We are going to start to remap all of those relationships. Okay, this was a big picture view of these 5 steps. There's obviously some detail work and some specifics that we can work with. So as I said, myself and Trish Guys, who's a fellow divorce coach up in Alberta, Canada, we are considering putting together a workshop. We would probably do 2, one just for men, one just for women, just to start playing with these ideas in a group setting, because it can be so helpful to hear what other people's stereotypes are like and how they're going to move through and around those. We want to start exploring these 5 steps, learning to work with them more effectively, and perhaps eventually even create a whole coaching program around them. So please, 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 if this is something that is interesting to you or resonates with you, leave me a note in the comments. Let me know if this is a project worth pursuing, and I will keep you guys updated as Trish and I start to plan one of these first workshops and put it out there. I hope that this was helpful, at least to have the awareness that just because you do have a mental image and a stereotype of what it means to be divorced in all of these different relationships, that stereotype, that image doesn't have to rule your life. You have a lot of power to change it. So let's start doing that work. Please leave me a note in the comments, you guys. I will get back to each and every one of you that does, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next video.